This is a Fairline Targa 43. She's a 2001 boat, and there is an awful lot to like about this. I'll take you on board and give you the full tour, but we're going to start right here. Look at the lines of it. It's a lovely looking boat. I love this dark blue hull, and I love the way the windscreen wraps around. I think it looks great. Although it's 2001, I mean, that's 20 years old, and it still looks brilliant. Anyway, let's head on board, and I'll give you the full tour and tell you why I am rather taken with this. We'll start on the inside, and then we'll work our way around. Now, what I like is that it is well proportioned, and for the size of the boat, it's got everything. So there's a garage on the back. I'm going to show you in the garage. We'll work our way around the deck afterwards, and I'll show you that. But look at this cockpit. Everything is so well proportioned. You've got a big sun pad on the back. That's really nice to just lie out there when you're at anchor somewhere, or even when the boat's cruising down the coast, because it's got rails around it, and it's quite a steady boat. There's a lovely big seating area here. There's a huge table. You can see it's folded in half at the minute. It's still pretty big, but you can fold that one out thusly, and that's massive. You could put a couple of director's chairs around it if you wanted as well to increase the seating, but actually you could get what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people around there, I reckon. And I say a couple of chairs on this side if you wanted to. Over on this side there's storage here, and then this is a bar area, so there's a fridge in that one, keep all your beers cool. Sink in there, a bit full of stuff at the moment. And then more seating here where Jack the Sack is sat. It seems to be sulking at the minute. Come on, Jack, let's turn you around. There we go, enjoy the ride. Perfect. Great place actually when the boat's underway to sit there. And then there's a double helm over on this side. The other thing it's got, well actually it hasn't got, I should say, but there is space here. I reckon you could get a barbecue in there. I'm pretty sure that looks like it's the perfect size for it. Otherwise it's just like a bit of a chopping board or something. So I reckon if you wanted a barbecue, you could fit it there. I like they put rails about the place. The rail there, and then your helm is over on this side. So you've got a lift bolster. If you want to stand at the helm, you can do, like so. There's a multifunction display underneath this one, and then this is your autopilot. So when you're out and running on long distance, you can hit that and it holds the boat on a course. You don't need to steer it, and that's speed and depth underneath that one. Switch gear across here for horn and battery switches and anchor winch and so on. Then your engine instrumentation is up there at the front. This is for a chart. You can actually put a paper chart in here. Don't see that very often these days. Bow thruster control over here. There's a searchlight, a VHF radio, and then your engine controls are here. We'll talk about the engines in a little while, obviously. The canopy on this, you can see that we've got the back rolled up at the moment. Now you can roll that down and enclose all of this, so you can have it all nicely enclosed if the weather's not quite so good. Roll that up as we've got it at the moment. You can take the sides out if you want to, you can take the front out if you want and leave this as a bimini top, or you can fold the whole thing back against the arch and then have it as a completely open boat. So a lot of adaptability there as well. And then these down here, that's a big speaker, Alpine speaker, and then the smaller speakers dotted around the places you can see over there as well. Let's head inside. 2001 is very much Fairline's cherry wood era, but it is beautifully done. Look at this. That's rather classy, isn't it? But again, the space in here, I just think it's all so very well proportioned. So you've got this really big, comfortable seating area around here. And you'll notice sometimes on boats of this size, they make the backrests very upright so you can get them tucked right back in and make the floor feel bigger. With this, they have actually kept a decent slope on it, so it should be nice and comfortable. This is all storage along here. It looks a bit like you have an aircraft, doesn't it? The overhead lockers. But that's what that is in there. The switch panel for the boat, there's a TV up here as well, but the switch panel is underneath. So that's all of your battery systems and your shore power systems. And you can see here the battery state and the shore power, whether it's on or off, and the amps being used and all that kind of stuff. It's all displayed there. Stereo is here as well. And a CD rack. I don't see those very often these days. Of course, it is a 2001 boat, so very much the CD era. And that one there is central heating. It's Eberspacher central heating. That means that you've got heat. It uses the diesel fuel for heating and electric fans then to blow it around, so it'll work off the 12-volt system. Now opposite here is the galley, and again, nicely done, nicely proportioned. You've got this nice island over on this side. There's a bit of storage up above, and then as we come around here, that's a bit of storage in there. And again, similar kind of deal over here where these are all lockers that lift up. So you can get all your knickknacks tucked away. And beneath it, Storage there and there, and then a little bit further forward you've got sliding doors here, and so that is a gas oven and grill. So again, you don't need shore power to run that, they run off the gas systems. And then there's cutlery drawer down underneath. Which begs the question, where is the fridge? And my guess is it's over here. Yeah, there we go, fridge is in there, in that island. And then up above, sinks, twin sinks, one here and one here, and then the hob itself, move the kettle out of the way, is down underneath there. Again, a gas system. And I like that they've put this stainless steel, almost like a sort of splash area around it. That's rather nice. So that is the saloon area. And if we head on forward then, we will find the owner's cabin. Those infill cushions, incidentally, they are to go onto that table, so you can make that into another sleeping area as well if you want to. But as the owner, you get this area, nice big double bed in the centre, there's storage in here, in places like that. That's just a 240 volt heater that's kept on when the boat's not being used, so that it keeps from heating here. You wouldn't have that in the boat when you're out and using it regularly. Nice little areas like that to tuck things away. You've got reading lights up at the head of the bed. There's a hatch overhead as well, with a blind that comes across it. And then underneath that, there are some pretty decent drawers for bedding or clothing or whatever else you wish to tuck away. That's the heater outlet just down there for that Eberspacher central heating system that I mentioned. But the other thing that this has, if I close that one over, is its own private ensuite. So we go into here, this is just for the master cabin. So you've got a toilet, and then this is a shower. You can see it's a circular shower, so this pulls around, this fella here comes right around there, and that keeps everything dry. You just have that circular showering area, and again, overhead lockers in places like this. And I like where they finish this as well, this sort of material on the back, that all looks very nice. So that is that, but then there is another heads. I do like these Fairline door handles, and I do like as well the way they've done this with these wood fillets built into them. That all looks really nice. Let's come back out here. The other heads is over on this side. So this is a day heads, completely separate, but a very similar arrangement. So you've got a shower there. This one's just got the curtain rather than the screen that comes around. Toilet is underneath that one, and the sink, and then storage up in behind. But it means that your guests can use that, and you've got your own private facilities up there at the front. And your guests, I mentioned that you can convert this seating area, but you don't need to, because there is a separate guest cabin back here. And again, nicely done. Little seat where you can tuck yourself away with a good book. Not mentioned that for a while, have we? Aquaholic bingo. And underneath here, two decent beds and pretty good headroom above them as well. Now, obviously you haven't got standing headroom because this goes back underneath the cockpit, but it's pretty good. You can certainly sit up in bed there. And there's a wardrobe in here as well, proper wardrobe. Look at this. Bit of bedding in there at the moment, and then a hanging locker like so. And then if you come on around this way, again, lots of little areas tucked away. So if you want to put your jewellery away, you can put it into there. There's lockers up here. You've got opening windows, as you can see. Another little locker down there. But I think that's a pretty decent little cabin, that. If I was a guest on a boat, I wouldn't mind that. That'd be absolutely fine. Anyway, that is the interior. I like the flooring in through here as well. So if you drop anything in the galley, you're not dropping it onto carpet. It's nice, isn't it? Let's head on round and I'll show you the decks. I want to show you the garage. I want to show you the engines. Plenty more to see. So we'll come back up here, put our shoes back on, and we'll head on back. That little fella there is a door that will swing across, so that if you've got small kids or whatever, they're not going to run down there and disappear off the back. It's got a bit of security. And then that step there takes us up onto the side deck. And around we go. They put a carbon fibre style wrap on here, which is quite nice, smartens it up a little bit. There's a rail here, which is helpful as you come out onto here, and then you've got the rails that come all the way around the outside. You see it's got spring cleats, 2 sets. There's one here and another one up there, so that's nice. And then up here there is sunbathing and cup holders. There should be another of these for the other side. I think I saw it in the garage earlier, so we'll have a look in a minute. And we'll come right up to the front. Sorry if it's a little bit windy, hopefully my microphone's muffling most of that. Anchor on the front, electric anchor winch, and those are the buttons underneath here. You've got covers on them so you don't stand on them and accidentally fire it off, but that's where you control your anchor winch from. There is another control at the helm. That's a good looking boat though, isn't it? I love the fact it's got little satellite communications jobs on the top as well. I've not seen that on this size boat before. Let's head back down. Let's head back down this side. I think it's a really windy day. We'll get back in out of the wind. I hope that's not too noisy. Okay, let's come back here and step on and back down to the bathing platform. Now this isn't as long as we often see on modern boats because you don't put your tender here, it lives in here. Let me open that up for you and you shall see. There's a button for that here. Garage door open. There we go. Now this is actually a pretty decent garage. This tender in here is a Zodiac. It's a 280. That's that cushion which I think is for the foredeck. I don't know why it's in there. In case anybody asks, they've got some other toys and bits and pieces in here as well. But if I come right up through here, you can see how long that is. So that's, as I say, a Zodiac 285. It's a pretty decent sized tender. You can get 4 or 5 people, maybe even 6 people into that. Very comfortably, brilliant for running ashore. And of course it keeps it completely out of the way, keeps it dry, and you don't have to secure it. You just pull it in, drop the door down, and away you go. So that's a very handy, helpful feature. I like that. And we'll come back round and drop that one back down. What's in there? Not a lot. Oh, boat hook storage. That's quite helpful. Boat hook and mops and all that kind of stuff live in there. So they're using that area down across there. That's pretty neat. Garage door back down. Close. There we are. Okay, so the engine access is up here under the floor. We just swing that table around and then we can lift it like so. And here are the engines. Now these are a pair of TAMD 63 engines, and the really interesting thing about this, let's see if we can get down there a little bit to show you a bit better. There we go. Is that these are a shaft drive. Don't know how we can see this because I haven't got the lights on in here. Yeah, there we go. You can see the shaft running down the back. So rather than out drives, you've got the engines here and straight shafts out the back. Now there are benefits to both, and in fact I've done a video on the difference between shaft drive and out drive and IPS, which will be coming soon. But just in brief, you get the engines further back in the boat with out drives, and they're a little bit more responsive to the helm. The big news with these, however, is by bringing the engines further forward, it puts the weight more towards the middle of the boat. And secondly, there's a lot less to go wrong because you don't have the out drives, you just have the straight stainless steel shaft. So on an older boat, that's good news. And thirdly, at this era, on out drives, you're only up to about 230 horsepower. With these, you've got 370 horsepower each. So you've got decent performance. I think it's probably low to mid 30s, something like that. So it goes very well, which of course for a sports boat as this is what you want. And then the range on this one, you're probably looking at about 250 miles, something like that. That's pretty typical. You can see the fuel tank, in fact, just on the outside there. There's one each side. And that's the tender garage. That's what that is there, coming up to there. See the other fuel tank on the other side. Excellent. Let's come back out of here. There we go, drop that one back down. There we go. I did notice earlier, in fact, there is access to the back of those engines. If we come around here, I'll show you. The other thing I didn't mention, in fact, is the boarding ladder. That's down underneath here, so when you come out from swimming, that's an easy way on and off of the boat. And in fact, there's a shower as well just up there. But that access to the back end of the engine room, that's down here. So you can see the tender garage again. You can get down underneath there and get to the shafts and the gearboxes and that kind of stuff. And those are the exhausts coming out. Of course, there's one each side. Superb. Let's come around here. So there we go. I think that's a great boat, a good quality. The Fairlines of this era, they're really nice. And a nice simple drive system and a really great layout. I think it's got a lot going for it. Let me know what you think of it in the comments. Huge thanks to boats.co.uk. They got this one for sale. I'll put a link to them in the description. And huge thanks as ever to you guys for watching. We'll catch you on another one of these very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.